I was always inclined to make history, but I never really had the time. Spent my life living dangerously, never worried how I'm getting by. I'm out here working, trying to do what I can. I'm out here sweating, dripping blood from my hands. Doing what I'm good at, just doing what I'm made for.
What is up, ElkShape YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Mi Casa. Today I am going to work on building some arrows for all of you. You know, we're working on archery tinks. This is an ethics archery footer. I've already installed 2 of these. I'm going to build 3 of each, but I wanted to build 1 each for you. So we're going to go through how to install ethics archery components, as well as how to install iron will components. So what's going on here is we're trying to build the baddest arrow we can. I really like this RIP TKO 250 spine. What I like about it is it's a smaller diameter, which is nice. It keeps your arrow weight relatively low when you got to get a 250 spine on. The coating on the outside of it makes it really easy to pull out of targets, which sounds kind of silly, but it also makes some sense to me. Like if I'm shooting through an animal, we want less resistance as it goes through there. To me, that makes sense. If you got any other arrows you want us to test, let us know. This is kind of like been my go-to for the last year or so, but I'm wide open. That's what this year's about. It's about tink, getting to work. But I don't want to keep you all waiting too much. Let's get to building these arrows, and appreciate you for watching. All right, let's get to building this thing. So first things first, this arrow is actually already fletched. I'm going to fletch some other arrows, so we'll go through that process. But this arrow is already fletched. First thing I want to do is clean out the inside of the arrow, and I'm going to do that with some rubbing alcohol. So I'm just going to swab a Q-tip, get some rubbing alcohol inside the arrow, and swash it around, I guess. Okay, so the arrow is cleaned off. Next thing we're going to do is, this has already been cut off. Fun fact, don't try to break them off. If they're stainless steel, they will bend. Some other ones, I was actually going to leave it one length longer, but this is okay. It keeps it lighter in a more similar way to the iron will setup, so it doesn't really bother me. Don't just hammer them off. According to MFJJ, you got to cut them off, and that's what we did. We cut them off with a wheel. I already mixed up some 2-part epoxy. Just going to get some epoxy and set it on this. You don't need much, really. Don't need much at all. And that's probably too much, but I'll show you what it looks like. So a little bit of epoxy, and then we're going to push this in the end of the arrow. I like to twist it a little bit. That way, you know, the glue is filling the grooves, and then just push it all the way in. Keep some paper towel nearby to wipe off the excess. And then that is ready to get covered with the sleeve. Guys, here is the setup I got. Again, this is the stainless steel sleeve and post. And I know a lot of times you have to sand this down because they make the sleeves slightly smaller than that. But these are actually, they just started producing these, and they're 1,000th bigger than my outside diameter of my arrow. I can get these on without having to sand it down, and it's a super tight fit. Okay, and then I pushed it all the way down, but what I would do is I would reference it against my other arrows I have sitting right here. It's a snug fit, but it does press down all the way, and that's what it looks like. All said and done. So I'm gonna let this sit for 24 hours. We're gonna get some reps on these arrows, probably tomorrow or the next day. That's what we're looking like. Everything is a nice, clean setup. I like clean lines, I like clean video. I like clean. And then I do know one thing you're supposed to do is lay them somewhere level, so when they dry level. Oh, and the other thing is, because they're solid on the bottom, okay, see how that post is solid? Well, anytime you're gluing in something solid, you have to remove the knock so it doesn't create a vacuum inside the arrow and not seal up properly. I've heard that from multiple sources. I've never done it any other way. I know Easton's hit brass inserts are similar. Iron wills, same thing. We just take the knock off and then let it dry and put the knock back on. Okay, so here we go with the iron will stuff. These are bear shafts. I had to get them cut. They just sized up a little differently than the Ethics Archery did. The Ethics Archery components basically fit on the way my current arrow set up because the sleeve does hang out a little bit over the arrow, so it doesn't pinch back this way that far. The Iron Will sleeve, although is shorter, sits up right next to the edge, and it's longer back here. So basically when I drew my bow and tested it at the range, it sat up on my rest. Can't have that. So we had to create a little longer arrow to accommodate. That's cool with me. I just want to find out what's best. And you guys are going to get to see my test run here with the Iron Will stuff. But we're just going to send it here. 3 sleeves and 3 hit inserts. If you've ever dealt with the Easton hit inserts, pretty similar. Again, solid on the outside. One sidebar, I really do honestly believe that archery components are kind of changing the game. Just when you think about how you're going to manufacture something from a business perspective, if you're just an arrow shaft manufacturer, you're not going to spend the money on components because you want to bring the product to the consumer that's not super expensive. And that can be good and bad. If it's good enough, it's good enough. But I think if we can make better, why not try to make better? So that's what we're trying to do here. Basically, if these were come stock with arrows, you'd be paying more for your arrows and wonder why. It's a nice upgrade. I think more companies will start to offer it with their arrow packages. It'll cost more money. I don't know, if you're willing to send it through the bull or animal of a lifetime, why not give yourself the best possible chance at success? And that's why we're starting now early, so we can get these tinks out of the way. But yeah, let's get back to building here. I'm gonna do 1 arrow on camera for you guys, then I'll do the other 2 off camera. Because if you've seen one, you're good, you get it. Clean it out. And these are to be used with an Easton hit tool. Or I guess you could make your own. These things are pretty common. I don't know if I was shipped one with my Iron Will components or not. A pretty common tool. Similar, but these don't cap all the way to the end of the arrows. These will sit inside the arrow, something like that. One thing Dan has always preached about when you're making arrows is using good light to see the glue and stuff like that. I'm on that for sure. You know, I'm the video guy, I'm the camera guy, so good light is, it's a thing. It's a thing it's an important thing. If you're not using good light and you're making videos, you can make high quality iPhone videos with good lights. So try to get the glue in the glue grooves, and then I wipe off the excess because we don't want it interfering with how we're gonna thread in our field point. I always use too much glue. I guess I just gotta temper it back. And in the past, I have messed this part up before. We're hoping for the best here, but basically you're supposed to just push this in and then twist it out. The boys at SVA said the more twists, the better. The expert arrow builders. We're gonna do our best on this because I hate losing or messing up arrows. Just gonna push it in and twist it out. And again, we're solid on the back side of these. We want to have that open, can breathe, make a solid seal. You can epoxy them, you don't have to, but these are just going to slide over the top and they fit pretty snug. When you screw your field point in, you're ready to rock. So you can see these things are a little shorter profile. They stiffen up the end of the arrow. Yeah, I'm just really excited to test them. I know talking with Bill Vanderheyden, the owner of Iron Will, he said that he floats in between using epoxy on this, so you can epoxy it down. Because I'm just tinkering with arrows right now, I'm not going to epoxy it before hunting season. If this is what's on my arrow, I'm definitely just going to put a little epoxy on it to hold it. He said it does add some structural stability. It's just a small amount, but why not just hold it in place if it's going to be on your hunting rig? For the purpose of tinks, should be good. That's how it'll look. We're going to get some fletchings on here and we got ourselves an arrow. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just not super stoked on fletching arrows. Some people like it. I like building my own bullets, so that's cool, but this Arizona Easy Fletch makes it easier. We clocked our arrows, we clocked our bear shaft arrows, and they twist to the left, but basically it's shooting an arrow without fletchings on it and seeing what way it wants to twist out of your bow. Both Dan and I have found that our arrows want to go left. I think it's because our strings are twisted to the left. For whatever reason, most of our arrows clock left. Okay, so those are in. We're gonna use our off-colored vein on the spine-aligned part of these arrows. That's one cool thing about shooting these RIPs is you can see where the spine is. And then we're gonna clean them off with the AAE pen. These things do make a difference in getting these like high-performance veins to adhere. I know some people have struggled with that. These primer pens really do work. They do their job. Okay, so I'm just gonna use this gold tip super glue From all my reading and research, it sounds like most super glues will work. And then I'm just gonna get a dab on each part of this, and I'm gonna use the Q-tip to smooth it out, and then use the Arizona Easy Fletch, push it up, clamp it, let it sit for 30 to 60 seconds, unclamp it, and it should be good to go. I can tell you never need as much glue as you might think, or at least as I might think. 3 small dots and then spreading it out is about right. All right, and then we're just going to clamp it up, let it sit for a minute, and we should be in business. And one of the most popular questions we get on this channel is, what do you use to get the helical? And this is the Arizona Minimax left helical. Josh sells them on his website, podiumarcher.com. I believe they should be up right now. They're quick, they work. I found that a helical works really well. We tinkered with that last year and it's just worked great. That's how you make these. And you know, the workflow is a little quicker than having to go vein by vein by vein, which I don't know, it's tedious. All right, well, that thing's almost done. The last thing we're going to do, I haven't used this product before, but this is an MFJJ recommendation. This stuff is better. It'll be a little softer to adhere, and it just has a little bit of flex to it. We're gonna try this product out, but I'll take his word for it. I don't really need to test it myself. He's been in the biz for a long time. This is Boning Fletch Tight. So for this, we're just gonna put a little dab in every edge of that arrow. So there you have it, guys. That is a left helical fletched. I don't know, it's like 4, 5, 6 degrees. Flies like a dart. I'm gonna take this back off because remember, we got a vacuum. We're not trying to create a vacuum so that other part can seal. I just did that for fletching up my arrows. Front end, just got to add that sleeve and this is done. And then cap it with a field tip. All right, you guys, thank you so much for coming back, hanging out with us, building arrows. We're looking forward to getting some testing under these things. Definitely drop your comments below. Let us know how we should test these. Ideas for future videos. We'll take everything you got. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoy this archery content, and we will catch you back here for the next one.